Alrighty, hey everybody, welcome to my first tutorial video. This is the game, The Hunter, Call of the Wild. Picked this up just randomly, it was on Game Pass, thought it might be cool, and it turned out to be something that I'm moderately obsessed with. Really great game, beautiful, if you like nature, if you like hunting, if you just like walking around the woods, I really recommend this game. If you don't have any patience, maybe pass. But let's just jump right into it. Oh God, it's really dark. Okay, so that sort of works out, I guess. So this is an outpost. All outposts pretty much look the same. You got the flagpole here. This flagpole is how you claim the outpost and sort of like activate it so you can travel to it and use it and whatever. Real quick here, I'm gonna show you the cabin. So inside the cabin, you got some chairs and stuff like that. It's pretty cozy. Could be cooler, more interactive, but the big deal is you can rest here. It costs money, but you can do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it because it's really dark. You can set your time here just like this. For tutorial purposes, let's just go to 10:45 a.m. Alrighty, so and see that the lighting has changed. It is now daylight. It is the next day, 10:45 a.m. So that's how that works. This is some sort of like bounty board. There's rumors that they're going to be using this like for the Hunt Club beta, but I don't know anything about that. All right, this is the cache. Cache is super important. Simple enough. This is the store. This is where you buy all your stuff. This is where you can purchase backpacks, anything really, equipment, things like that. We'll get more into this later. Down here we have a storage. Storage is basically like your own personal box of shit. Stuff, I mean. It's really, this works the same way. You can just sort of go through, you have different categories: ammo, weapons, sights, lures. Notable things are you have to pull sights from your storage and put them in your inventory, as well as ammo. Putting a gun in your inventory does not bring ammo or sight over. Every time you move a gun around, it removes the sight. So that's important to know. Beyond that, there's character. This is pretty basic. You want a girl or a guy, and what they look like. And I guess I'm a girl right now. All of outfits, whatever. But mostly importantly is the backpack. This is how you equip any backpacks that you might own to increase that storage space that you want. So that's the important part about character. And in garage, you can spawn four-wheelers here. You can drive them around. They're really good for exploring, but I don't really recommend them for like actual hunting, because you're just gonna scare every animal away, like every animal away. So that's the cache really quick. So this is the outpost. This is your basic outpost. This is where you're sort of going to start the game every time you log in. Unless you're at a tent, but more on that later. All right, I guess we'll just tune in my next segment. We'll talk about menus, settings, and some tips and tricks before we get out there and try to get something. All right, welcome back. So, in my last segment, we talked about the outpost and all the things you can sort of do here and the store and stuff. Right now, we're going to sort of take a step backwards and we're going to go into menus. Because menus sort of important, contains the map, all that good stuff. So, here we go. Let's dive right in. I'm playing Xbox, so obviously you just hit the menu button. It's different for PC and stuff like that. I don't know. Look at the controls. So when you first open the map menu area, this is what you see. This is the map. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can move around. Pretty cool. Sorry, my Xbox is slow. You can place waypoints. You can remove waypoints. And if you click on one of these houses here, you can fast travel. I'm not going to do that. It's going to just be a loading screen and take us to another outpost. So, but that's how you do it. You just click on it, fast travel, boom, you're there. Other things worth mentioning is you hit Y, it'll pull up this legend. It'll tell you all the things that you can see, what they are. And then one more important thing about the map. It took me a minute to figure this out. I had to do a couple Google searches. I recommend doing Google searches also for you, just because hunting pressure is somewhat of a complex idea. And there's a lot of ways to manage it, there's a lot of ways to do it. Um, you can use it to sort of manipulate the game a little bit and really get the most out of it, but just sort of like most basic things about hunting pressure is this is hunting pressure. There's all this splotchy splotch. Looks like someone just spilled grape juice all over my map, or some wine if you're over 21. um, Anyways, this splotch appears when you shoot an animal. This splotch appears when the animal dies around the point where it was first shot. That's really important. It's not where the animal dies. For instance, when I remember shooting this deer here, and I shot a deer here, right here, and it had run all the way over past this outpost before I actually found it before it died. But the hunting pressure appears around where the animal was first shot. That's very important. You can even use that to to see if you killed your animal or not. Save you some time and just a lot of time chasing down animals you don't hurt. You can get varying things. Certain weapons cause varying amounts of hunting pressure. For instance, this purple one was 2 rifle shots, but this gray one was just a bow shot. So you can see that there's a difference in texture there. If the hunting pressure gets too great, the need zones that you see here, like this drinking zone or this rest zone, they will disappear and reset to a different location. So hunting pressure is really important to manage, because unless you want to spend all of your time just refinding need zones and stuff like that, you're really gonna have to basically hunt an area and then move on. All right, that's the map. It's pretty straightforward besides that. This is the inventory. It works just like the storage. Um, I'm not going to go into my loadout just yet. Right now, we're just doing mechanics. But in the inventory, you can go around, you can browse around, different categories, all that stuff. It works exactly the same way as the store or the shop. And you just move it over to your hotbar over here. More on how I order my hotbar later. Then we have skills. I am not going to go into these. I'm just starting out this game. I understand their premise. I've played, obviously, RPGs before, so this is something that's not new to me. However, I do not know the best build. I'm still sort of trying to settle on my build. So we're just going to sort of gloss over it. It's really cool. I suggest you do some Google searches about it, but just I don't really want to steer you wrong here. Next step is perks. Same thing. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's based off of which. Ooh, I actually have a perk point. It's based off of which weapons you actually use, and it sort of makes you better at using those weapons. Codex. This is a bunch of random, mostly useless information. There's a couple cool gems in here. I actually have learned a little bit about animals and their nature after playing this game. Like I've hunted deer, but I did not know that they just lost their antlers sometimes. So like that was pretty cool, and I learned a little bit about coyotes and stuff too. So like there's some cool stuff in here, but it's not really gonna help you in your game too much. Trophy lodges, until you really start making a lot of money, you're not even going to be taxiderming anything. It's really expensive. So I'm not going to get into this either. Hunt Club Beta, don't have any idea what this is, haven't used it, doesn't look like it does anything. And then this is the system. Just, your normal system thing: games, graphics, audio, wireless controller, Hunt Club Beta, data collection, controls, yada, yada, yada. Let's go to Hunt Club Beta and just see. Status, logged in, Hunt Club Beta enabled. Okay, so I'm in the Hunt Club, but it doesn't do anything. That's the menu. That's pretty straightforward. It works pretty much like any menu in the game. So now let's just double check our setup. I'll explain to you my loadout here and why I do what I do. come back in the next segment. Alrighty, welcome back. Here we are in the Hunter Call of the Wild. I just went over the menu. I just went over the outposts. And now we're going to go into specific things that I do to make this game a little bit easier and some things that I wish I would have known when I first started playing this game. It's got a pretty steep learning
You know,
curve,
I spotted
especially if
some
you've
tracks
never
in here,
hunted
close to
before.
where you're at right
If
now.
you have hunted
I'll
before,
send the
you'll
coordinates.
know a lot about it. Know a lot about like the windage and things like that, and so that'll help you a lot. But there's still some things that I just didn't know as far as the mechanics of the game. So let's get right in. First and foremost, we were just in the menu here. I'm gonna show you my settings. It's gonna mostly gonna be about the game settings. There's one setting I want to talk about in particular. All of these are mostly default. I've customized some of my colors, yada yada. You can turn off all of the hints and all of the things that make this like a video game, and it becomes incredibly realistic, super immersive, and damn near impossible. But the one setting that I care about, especially for beginning, is field of view. Field of view is you know, pretty important in most games, I think. Um, but I think it's very important in this game. I now that I've gotten used to this game and I really like the realism and the immersiveness of it. I like to play with a large field of view. This is great because it makes it very much like seeing. You know, the normal human has 102 to 107 degrees field of view before it hits peripherals. This game goes to 90, so I max it out. Here's what it looks like at 90. As you can see, we'll go to this edge here. As you can see, this this looks pretty much like a human. You know, there's a little bit of distortion going on around the edges, and the center of the screen is seems further away than it might be. Um, that's not what you want when you want to be beginning. I recommend when you're first starting out, and it's going to help you see those animals. Start out at low field of view. So right now we're at 90, and if you watch a shadow on the menu, I'll, I'll tune it in slowly. But we're going to bring it into like a 60, and as you can see, that tree there, yeah, that tree there is much bigger and much closer than it used to be. And that's a lot better. That's a lot easier. For instance, you could see further down that shoreline. And you lose some of the peripherals. You'll be spinning around a lot more. But in this game, you're mostly going to be focused on like what's in front of you. Please hold on. I have to yell at my cat. Okay. By yell at her, I mean spray her with a. All right. That's one setting that I like to tune in when I was beginning. I wish I would have done that earlier. Another thing, my loadout. So we're just gonna go through my loadout. Other people go through the store. I'm not gonna do that. You can look stuff up in the store. There's a lot of stuff in there. Also, this is just my suggestions. You can make your own choices. Lots of people out there vouch for all kinds of different stuff. You can look at some of the forums, and there's guys arguing about like what the best gun is, what the best bow is, all day long. But this is what works for me. It might work for you. There's a couple points here that I really do strongly suggest. First and foremost, I hunt almost entirely with the Eckers 30-06 Eminence. I bought it in a DLC. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this game. I invested some money in it. Um, it is a fantastic weapon for anything from medium to long range. You do have to buy ammo for it. It is not free, so that is one thing. But you usually don't need more than one shot to take anything down if you're just patient and careful. I really enjoy using this gun. I use the polymer tipped bullets to give a lot of penetration and a little bit more range. More on that in the ammo section. I also, anything closer than 100 yards, I'm hunting. Sorry, I am hunting with this bow. Also, I got this bow in the DLC. I'm sorry. I just really didn't like the Ranger. I know the ammo is free. I know it's very accurate, but I don't like the range. And I was tired of shooting moose and bear and then not killing them and just following them around all day. That being said, those are my two weapons of choice. I don't carry more than two weapons. I don't carry a handgun. And late in lakes, the only reason an animal will hurt you is if you startle it, and if you do startle it, you won't really have enough time to switch your weapon and pull out a handgun to shoot it. Maybe other parts in the game that's important, but right now it's we're talking about deer, black bear, and elk people. They're really passive. Um, Ammo. I hunt with the polymer tip bullets. I do not like soft point ammo. It does a lot more damage, but the fact of the matter is it will not go through some bones, and at long distances, the soft tip ammo will not have enough force to penetrate, say, the shoulder blade or the vertebrae or the skull if you're unlucky. Um, I really like the polymer tip bullet. It's pretty expensive, but like I said, they come 10 at a time, and as long as you shoot 5 deer with those, you'll have more than enough money to buy more ammo. Now, for my arrows, I'm rocking the 600 grain broadhead tracer arrows. They are one of the most expensive arrows you can buy for a compound bow. Um, they will take down moose, they will take down deer, they will take down literally any animal in this game within 100 yards. They drop pretty hard, but they have effective range of about 120 yards. Um, when you're first starting out, if you want to start out with a bow, I recommend the 420 grain broadhead tracer arrows. You don't have to get the tracer ones. It just makes it a little bit easier to find your kill, especially in the beginning. But 420 grains is a great place to start. That'll take down most things, and if you're lucky, you could take down a bear or a moose with a really great shot. That's all there is that I have to say about ammo. Sights, just find the site that works for you. I've got a couple DLC sites. You have to have a site for each weapon, and then you have to equip them once you move your weapons into your inventory. Lures, you're going to start out with all the calls and lures in the world. You really don't need them unless you're going after duck and stuff like that. All you really need is the deer bleat collar and the predator jackrabbit collar. And the other collars won't unlock until level 30. So these are all you're going to be needing for most of the game until that point. Um, in equipment, I always carry first aid kits. You're gonna die in this game once or twice, at least. I didn't think I could die in this game, and I was rudely awakened when I was trampled by an elk. I've been trampled by a deer. I've been trampled by a herd of deer. Um, I've been mauled by a black bear. I've fallen accidentally off of railroad bridges while looking out of binoculars. Things happen. And sometimes it doesn't kill you, but it'll take you down to 20% health, and then, that's just nerve wracking. So buy some first aid kits. And then binoculars. I carry, if I can, both my night vision and my regular binoculars. Night vision ones are great. They have a rangefinder, all that stuff. I really do recommend some of the DLCs. But the problem is you can't turn the night vision off. So I'm going to equip the regular ones here. And then I also have to change my sight out because I carry a night vision sight as well. This is the Ascent. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. This is the original scope you start with in the game, but you just select it, you select the scope, and then you select the rifle you want to put it on. Boom. Alrighty, that's my loadout. The most important thing in the quick access is this. 2 weapons always split by your binoculars. I don't care if you place these 3 things anywhere in your hot quick access, your hotkey as anywhere you want, as long as they're next to each other and they're split by your binoculars. This is very important. This helps you see an animal, track an animal with your binoculars. Basically, it highlights it, and then if your weapons are close, you can just switch right to your weapon, and usually you could squeeze off a shot before that pink highlight even fades. I hope to get a chance to show you that later. But that's super important. I really recommend that. But otherwise, do whatever you want with your quick access. I just really, really, really recommend putting your binoculars in between your two weapons. It's